Imagine this for a moment. The countries you hear about every single day, America, China, India, the UK, yes, they're powerful. But what if I told you they aren't the real vaults of the world's money? The true financial powerhouses are often tiny dots on the map. So small you could miss them on a globe. Yet they quietly hold trillions of dollars, control the flow of global wealth, and decide who gets richer and who gets left behind. These nations don't make headlines every day, but behind closed doors, their financial systems influence your taxes, your investments, even the prices you pay for goods. And here's the wild part. The ultra-wealthy and the biggest corporations already know these secrets, and that's exactly why their fortunes keep multiplying. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the secret countries that hold the world's money. And once you know this truth, you'll never look at global wealth the same way again. 1. Switzerland, the oldest safe haven. For decades, when people thought about hiding or protecting money, one name stood out: Switzerland. This small, landlocked European country built its reputation on neutrality, secrecy, and banking stability. In fact, Swiss banking secrecy laws date back centuries, designed to keep client information private at all costs. That's why for so long, billionaires, corporations, and even politicians moved money there. It was safe, untouchable, and invisible. But it wasn't just secrecy. Switzerland also became a financial hub because of its political stability. Unlike countries with coups, wars, or sudden tax grabs, Switzerland remained calm, steady, and trusted. Imagine you're a billionaire in a volatile country. You'd naturally want your money somewhere stable. Switzerland became that vault. Even today, despite international pressure to reveal account details, the country manages an estimated $2.4 trillion in foreign wealth. That's not just cash. It includes investments, trusts, and complex financial structures. It's like Switzerland turned money storage into a luxury service industry. And here's the twist. Although some secrecy has been reduced, wealthy people still park fortunes there because of strong laws and world-class banks. Switzerland proves that reputation, once built, continues to attract wealth. But as we'll see, other tiny nations have taken this model and made it even more powerful. 2. Luxembourg, the hidden giant in Europe. Luxembourg is so small that most people can't even point to it on a map. Yet this microstate quietly became one of the richest countries on Earth per capita, largely because it turned itself into a financial powerhouse. Luxembourg doesn't just offer banking, it specializes in investment funds. Imagine giant pools of money from around the world being managed in one place. That's Luxembourg. By 2024, it held over $5 trillion in investment fund assets, more than most large countries. How did they do it? Simple: low taxes, investor-friendly laws, and a welcoming attitude toward global corporations. Tech giants like Amazon and Google run their European operations through Luxembourg to minimize taxes. And the country benefits because it charges small fees and attracts talent, becoming richer and richer. Here's something fascinating. Luxembourg doesn't shout about this power. It works quietly, behind the scenes. If Switzerland is the vault, Luxembourg is the engine room that keeps European money flowing smoothly. For ordinary people, this should be an eye-opener. Wealth isn't always stored in big, powerful countries. Sometimes, the tiniest dot on the map is actually the control room of global wealth. And Luxembourg is a perfect example of that. 3. The Cayman Islands, the billionaire's playground. When you hear the word Cayman Islands, what comes to mind? Probably beaches, vacation resorts, or a James Bond-style paradise. But here's the real secret. This tiny British territory is one of the largest offshore financial centers in the world. The Cayman Islands has more registered businesses than people. Yes, you heard that right. With a population of just about 70,000, it has over 100,000 companies registered there. Why? Because it offers zero direct taxes. No income tax, no corporate tax, no capital gains tax. For billionaires and multinational corporations, this is paradise. But it doesn't stop there. Cayman is the home of hedge funds. Nearly 70% of the world's hedge funds are legally domiciled there, managing trillions of dollars. Wealthy investors and global banks funnel their money through Cayman structures, not because the money stays there physically, but because Cayman law makes it invisible to higher tax governments. Think of it as a magician's trick. The money flows through Cayman, gets a new passport, and suddenly, tax obligations vanish or shrink. That's why celebrities, corporations, and even politicians have been linked to Cayman accounts. The kicker? Ordinary citizens pay their fair share of taxes every year, while massive fortunes slip through loopholes in these island nations. This isn't just about palm trees and beaches. It's about power, money, and the global financial system's hidden architecture. 4. Singapore, the Asian wealth magnet. If Europe has Switzerland, Asia has Singapore. This city-state has transformed itself into one of the most important global financial hubs, with world-class infrastructure, political stability, and strategic location. Singapore became the go-to place for Asian billionaires and multinational corporations. Unlike the Cayman Islands, Singapore doesn't just rely on zero taxes. It built a reputation as a serious, respected financial hub with strict but business-friendly regulations. That's why both legitimate wealth and more secretive money flow there. Wealthy Chinese, Indonesian, and Indian families often park fortunes in Singapore, seeing it as safer than keeping wealth in unstable home countries. In fact, private banking in Singapore has exploded, with trillions in assets under management. It's now considered the Switzerland of Asia. But here's the fascinating twist. Singapore is not just about storing wealth. It's about growing it. The government actively invests through sovereign funds like Temasek and GIC, turning national wealth into global influence. While other tax havens hide money, Singapore multiplies it. This makes Singapore unique. It's not just a vault, it's a growth machine. And in a world where Asia's billionaires are multiplying, Singapore's role will only become bigger. 5. The British Virgin Islands, the invisible shell company capital. Here's where things get even more secretive. The British Virgin Islands, or BVI, is another tiny Caribbean territory that plays a massive role in hiding wealth. Unlike the Cayman Islands, which is known for hedge funds, the BVI specializes in shell companies. What's a shell company? It's a business that exists only on paper. No office, no employees, just a name and a registration. These shells can be used to own property, hold investments, or move money. And BVI makes this process ridiculously easy. In fact, more than 400,000 companies are registered in the BVI, and many are linked to billionaires, politicians, and global corporations. The Panama Papers leak revealed just how many powerful people used BVI shells to hide assets or reduce taxes. Why BVI? Because it provides absolute confidentiality, low fees, and flexible corporate laws. It's the ultimate cloak of invisibility for money. For ordinary people, this sounds almost unbelievable. While you work a 9-to-5 job and pay taxes directly from your paycheck, billionaires can set up a BVI shell in days and make their money almost untouchable. And here's the cliffhanger. The BVI isn't even the biggest player in this game. There are other countries and territories, some even smaller, that hold far greater sums of global wealth, shaping the hidden map of money. 6. Panama, the gateway of hidden fortunes. When you hear Panama, the first thing that comes to mind is probably the Panama Canal, a vital shipping route connecting oceans. But in the financial world, Panama is infamous for something else, being a gateway for hidden fortunes. For decades, Panama positioned itself as an offshore hub by offering complete banking secrecy. It became known for shell corporations, anonymous trusts, and bank accounts that were nearly impossible to trace. In 2016, the world finally got a glimpse of this shadowy world when the Panama Papers were leaked. The documents revealed how politicians, billionaires, celebrities, and even sports stars used Panama's system to stash wealth away from taxes and scrutiny. But here's the shocking part. While the scandal forced some reforms, Panama remains a key player in global wealth storage. Why? Because its legal system is still highly attractive for those seeking anonymity. Corporations use Panamanian shell companies to funnel money worldwide, often hiding ownership behind layers of secrecy. For ordinary citizens, the story of Panama feels like a movie script: secret files, hidden bank accounts, and a network of the powerful shielding their wealth. But for the ultra-rich, it's just another Tuesday. The Panama Papers were only the tip of the iceberg. Panama continues to operate as a discrete financial hub. And remember this: when you hear stories of sudden fortunes, massive properties, or billionaires moving money overseas, Panama is often a silent middleman in the background. 7. Hong Kong, the East meets West financial gateway. Hong Kong's financial story is unique. For decades, it was the bridge between China and the Western world, attracting capital from both sides. Under its one country, two systems arrangement, Hong Kong built a reputation for being open, transparent, yet extremely friendly to wealth. Banks in Hong Kong managed trillions in assets, making it one of the largest financial centers on Earth. Private banking, wealth management, and corporate finance thrive there because it offers something special: a mix of Chinese access and Western legal frameworks. For multinational corporations, this was the perfect balance. But Hong Kong also became a hub for the wealthy elite of Asia. Rich families from mainland China, Southeast Asia, and even India funneled money into Hong Kong to escape unstable local systems. At the same time, Western companies used it as their Asian base to lower taxes and reach billions of consumers. The challenge now is political change. With China's tightening control, some wealth is shifting to Singapore. Yet, Hong Kong still holds enormous influence. Its financial DNA is deeply embedded in global trade and investment. And for many billionaires, it remains an essential piece of their wealth puzzle. Think of Hong Kong as a golden door. One side opens to China, the other to the rest of the world. And money always loves a good door. 8. Liechtenstein, the tiny prince's vault. Liechtenstein is so small that you can drive across it in less than an hour. Yet this microstate nestled between Switzerland and Austria is one of the most important wealth havens in Europe. Why? Because it has perfected the art of foundations and trusts. These are legal structures that allow wealthy families to protect assets for generations. Imagine being able to set up a foundation where your fortune is legally shielded, passed down quietly, and hidden from outsiders. Liechtenstein offers exactly that. Its banks manage tens of billions in assets, but the real strength is in legal protection. Ultra-rich Europeans, royals, and global tycoons have long trusted Liechtenstein to safeguard wealth. Its monarchy, headed by the Prince of Liechtenstein, actively supports the financial sector, making it central to the country's economy. For the average person, Liechtenstein may look like a fairy tale country with castles and mountains. But behind those fairy tale walls lies a fortress of financial secrecy. Money here isn't just stored, it's locked into legal frameworks that can outlive governments, wars, and crises. In many ways, Liechtenstein is the invisible cousin of Switzerland, smaller, quieter, but equally powerful in protecting hidden fortunes. 9. Monaco, the playground of the rich. Monaco is famous for yachts, casinos, and the glamorous Grand Prix. But beneath the glittering lifestyle lies a serious financial advantage: zero income tax for residents. This tiny principality on the French Riviera has long been a magnet for the global elite. Billionaires, celebrities, and athletes move to Monaco not just for luxury living, but for the ability to keep almost all of their earnings. The government funds itself through tourism, casinos, and fees, so it doesn't need to tax residents heavily. Monaco's banks also manage massive sums of money. With political stability, strong privacy, and its reputation as an exclusive haven, It has become one of the safest vaults for personal fortunes. In fact, over 30% of Monaco's residents are millionaires. Imagine that. An entire country where being rich is the norm, not the exception. For global corporations, Monaco may not be the same scale as Luxembourg or Cayman, but for individuals, it's unmatched. Athletes often relocate here to save millions in taxes. Celebrities retire here for the same reason. It's not just about yachts, it's about financial freedom. Monaco shows that sometimes the secret to attracting money isn't hiding it, it's simply not taxing it. The Netherlands, the unexpected tax haven. When you think of tax havens, you think of islands or tiny states. But here's a shocker. The Netherlands, a modern European powerhouse, is one of the biggest corporate tax havens in the world. How? Through a system of tax treaties, loopholes, and Dutch sandwich structures. Multinational corporations use Dutch subsidiaries to shift profits, reducing their overall tax bills. Companies like Google, Starbucks, and Nike have all used Dutch financial routes to save billions. The Netherlands doesn't look like a secret vault, but in reality, it channels hundreds of billions of dollars in corporate profits through its system each year. It acts as a financial transit hub. Profits flow in, move through Dutch legal structures, and then exit to other tax havens with minimal taxation. For ordinary citizens, this is frustrating. While you pay direct taxes on your salary, corporations can move billions around and legally pay close to nothing. Yet, for governments like the Netherlands, it's profitable. They collect small fees and attract investment, keeping their economy strong. The biggest lesson here? A tax haven doesn't always look exotic. Sometimes it's a highly developed, respected European country playing financial chess better than anyone else. And here's the undeniable truth. While these secret countries quietly hold the world's money, ordinary people like you and me are left playing catch-up. Billionaires and corporations already know these havens, they already use the loopholes, and that's why their fortunes multiply, while the average worker struggles with taxes, inflation, and debt. But knowledge is power. Now that you understand the hidden map of money, you can start thinking differently about how wealth is built, how it's protected, and how the financial game is really played. Because the biggest mistake you can make is believing the system is fair. It isn't. The rules are written by those who know where the money is hidden. So if you want to stop being left behind, stay here with me. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel is where we expose the secrets the wealthy don't want you to know. Don't just watch, learn, grow, and use this knowledge to secure your own financial future. And if you want to take this one step further, don't miss my next video. I'll reveal exactly how the wealthy multiply their hidden money through a concept so powerful, it's been called the eighth wonder of the world, the power of compounding. Click here, and I'll show you how the rich turn hidden wealth into generational empires. The choice is yours. Keep playing the game blindfolded, or open your eyes and start building your own wealth strategy today.